He even exacts revenge on the home of the town's former mayor.
He does have armor-piercing weaponry.
Deputies and SWAT teams try everything.
Most people think the KILLDOZER story ended in 2004 when Marvin Heemeyer took his life and the Bulldozer was dismantled. But that's a mistake. One piece survived the entire rampage. While 99% of the KILLDOZER was dismantled and sent off to scrapyards across the country so no one would ever find even a single bolt, that 1% escaped the police. And not just in rumor, it's real and out there. And a YouTuber just found it by analyzing the KILLDOZER footage intently. But you won't believe what happened after the mysterious package arrived at the YouTuber's doorstep. Here's why this one piece was never meant to see daylight again.
A bulldozer levels a building in Granby, Colorado. Then another. And another.
After the horrific incident of 2004, the KILLDOZER was not destroyed. The officials had to first dismantle the whole thing and send the pieces to different scrapyards across the country. This way, they figured, it would stop anyone from obtaining pieces from this symbol of destruction. The officials believed that by doing this, they would erase the memory of the KILLDOZER, everything it represented, and stop anyone from recreating it again in the future, but they were wrong. One man, a YouTuber, has recently said that he uncovered the last remaining piece in the existence of the KILLDOZER. He had it shipped and delivered to him by mail, and if you're thinking, this dude's a fraud, he's doing it just to get clicks, think again. To understand how he found the last remaining piece of the KILLDOZER, we first have to go back to the horrible freak incident of 2004 and review the events that unfolded before our very eyes on camera as buildings were being demolished and people ran for cover, if we want to understand how YouTuber WhistlinDiesel got a hold of the last piece of the KILLDOZER. Now, before we move on, don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Marvin Heemeyer was just 52 years old when he became the center of one of America's most bizarre acts of vengeance. He wasn't some unhinged criminal or political extremist. He was a welder, a skilled one at that, who owned a muffler shop in the small town of Granby, Colorado, a town with fewer than 2,000 people. At first, Marvin was known as a friendly, quiet guy, but over the years, things started to sour. In 1992, he bought 2 acres of land at auction for $42,000. It was a smart deal. He set up his muffler business there and kept to himself, but trouble started when the town approved the construction of a concrete plant right next to his shop. Marvin opposed it, claiming it would block access and hurt his business. Then came zoning disputes, fines from the city, and a refusal to connect his shop to the sewer system. Marvin believed the town officials were corrupt and conspiring against him. Over time, the frustration boiled over. In tapes Marvin left behind, hours of recorded messages, he said, "God built me for this job." He felt he had no choice left, that every legal and peaceful option had been stripped away. By 2003, he had already began turning that belief into something terrifyingly real. In 1998, Marvin Heemeyer bought a Komatsu D355A bulldozer at auction for around $40,000. It was a massive machine weighing over 49 tons, built for heavy-duty earth moving. At first, it just sat on his property. But by 2003, while still battling the town over fines and zoning issues, Marvin began quietly transforming it. He moved it inside his muffler shop and worked in secret, keeping the garage doors closed and the windows covered. For over a year, no one suspected what was happening. Inside, he began to armor the bulldozer. Using half-inch steel plates, he welded together an external shell, but it wasn't just steel. Between 2 layers, he poured quickset concrete, making the walls over a foot thick in some spots. Rifle rounds, even small explosives, couldn't penetrate it. To see outside, Marvin installed multiple cameras wired to monitors inside the cab. He protected those cameras with bulletproof plastic and washer systems to keep them clean. He also added air conditioning and ventilation, knowing the sealed interior would get dangerously hot. He mounted 3 firearms inside, a .50 caliber rifle, a .223 rifle, and a .22 caliber rifle, each positioned at strategic firing ports. Most disturbing of all, Marvin sealed himself inside with a crane and left no way out. When he started the machine, he knew it was a one-way mission. June 4th, 2004 started like any other day in Granby, Colorado, but by 3 p.m., the quiet mountain town was under siege. Marvin Heemeyer had sealed himself inside his modified Komatsu D355A bulldozer and rolled out of his muffler shop with a mission: to destroy the places and people he believed had ruined his life. The machine, later called the KILLDOZER, weighed over 60 tons now thanks to the thick armor plating. It moved slowly but with unstoppable force. In just over 2 hours, Marvin flattened 13 buildings across town. He started with the concrete batch plant that sparked the entire feud. Then he turned to the town hall, the local newspaper office, a hardware store, the former mayor's home, and even the police station. His dozer ripped through steel, concrete, and wood like it was nothing. At one point, he even destroyed a building that housed a family-owned business just because the owner had spoken out against him at a zoning meeting years before. Police fired over 200 rounds at the machine, but none could pierce the armor. They tried to drop explosives through ventilation holes and even brought in a construction vehicle to stop it, but nothing worked. The bulldozer just kept moving. It left behind crushed vehicles, shattered buildings, and streets torn apart by treads.
Authorities seized the narrow opportunity, using the front loader truck to block the dozer in.
Yet somehow, no one was killed. Not one civilian. One police officer suffered a minor injury when trying to get close, but that was it. Marvin was deliberate. He had a list and he stuck to it. He even avoided hurting random bystanders. It was targeted destruction and the town was powerless to stop it. But eventually the machine made one wrong move and that would bring it all to an end.
Homemade tank, Marv Heemeyer takes his own life. It takes officers several hours and a cutting torch.
The rampage came to an end when the KILLDOZER drove over the Gamble's hardware store and crashed partway through its foundation. The floor gave way and the bulldozer sank into the basement, wedging itself in place. Marvin tried to move, but the machine was stuck for good, and at 4:45 p.m., with police closing in and no way out, Marvin Heemeyer took his own life with a handgun. It took the authorities 12 hours to cut into the armored shell using blowtorches and heavy tools. Inside, they found his body, the weapons, and the extensive systems he had built. The dozer was later dismantled and destroyed, its parts scattered and buried to prevent any shrine. But one piece survived. A piece kept as a chilling reminder, so where is it now? And hey, just a reminder, if you enjoyed the video so far, please don't forget to crush that subscribe button.
With what should be this piece sitting right next to the KILLDOZER. If that's all correct, we have the only known piece of the KILLDOZER.
Cody Detweiler, better known online as WhistlinDiesel, is a YouTuber famous for testing the limits of heavy machinery and vehicles. Around the 20th anniversary of the KILLDOZER Rampage, he became aware of a rumor. When law enforcement dismantled Marvin Heemeyer's fortified bulldozer in 2004, they supposedly overlooked a single remnant. Cody, with hundreds of thousands of subscribers, took it upon himself to search for that lone relic. He spent several weeks digging into local records and following leads in Granby, Colorado. Using aerial photos, old demolition logs, and community tips, WhistlinDiesel tracked this overlooked fragment to a storage site once used by the FBI during the cleanup.
What if our piece
is, Cody, it is. Right there.
No way!
That's our piece!
Bro!
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
It's one thing having a piece of it.
On camera, he showed how he obtained a roughly 12-inch steel plate, charred, dented, but unmistakably part of the KILLDOZER's concrete steel armor. In his video, he highlighted the plate's jagged edges and reinforced layers, proof it came straight from the machine now almost 21 years later. Once the plate surfaced online, word reached the FBI. Rather than launching full legal action, officials quietly reached out to Cody requesting he stop any public display or sale of the artifact. While Cody complied, he posted that the FBI forgot to get rid of one piece. It has now ended up in just the right person's hands. The FBI's reaction was firm but low-key. They didn't seize the steel plate, but the tone made it clear that it wasn't a souvenir to be flaunted. At present, the steel fragment remains in Cody's possession, stored securely and away from public exhibition. Its fate may depend on further negotiation or possible transfer to a museum or historical society if the FBI and local authorities agree. But what do you think? Who was really to blame, Marvin Heemeyer or the town that pushed him too far? Let us know in the comments section below. And hey, if you like powerful, gigantic machines, you'll enjoy this video too.